Hello, everybody. Rick DiClemente in Pittsburgh with StarSelf.com and Astrology Unplugged. If you've never been with us before, we're all over YouTube, Astrology Unplugged. This is around episode 32. It's like a talk show about astrology and many things. Tonight, I started out flummoxed because I didn't know what to talk about. Now I've got so many things I just can't believe it. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things. Let's start right out with the first thing that you were just talking about, Susan. There's Deborah. Okay, we're going to change Deborah's name to Deborah. Okay, where did my Susan S go? Oh, there you are, the Susan A. Susan, I'm going to turn your mic on and listen to me now. I just had a client, a professional man. He's about 45. Very professional. Very, very nice. Follow me. Rich, nice family, nicest guy in the world. He is a Sagittarian, but he doesn't play. He work. Because in his chart, Virgo, Saturn. All right. This is how I do this. This is how you learn. I took him back to age 42, so he's about 49. I took him back to age 42, and I asked him what was going on. Nothing. Red flag. Uranus takes 84 years to go around. At age 42, it's halfway around. That is your midlife crisis, approximately. It's pretty good with everybody, 41, 42, 43, because it's pretty circular. You should be going through one of two things. Three things can happen. You're either using it right. Oh, I'm going to free myself. Uranus, freedom, independence. I'm going to free myself, liberate myself. I'm not going to work so hard. I'm going to have more fun. I'm going to do what I like. I'm going to stop holding myself back. I'm going to tell people off who've been putting me down. Number two, you blame everybody else. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. You externalize it, and you're wrong, usually. You're putting me down. You're holding me back. That's externalizing. That's projecting, and that's wrong. Type 3, which is what this guy was. Nothing happened. What does that tell you? In all three cases, Uranus went by. And in his case, Uranus is here. 42 years later, it's opposite itself for everybody. Everybody starts somewhere, and 42 years later, it's opposite. While it's opposite, that's the midlife crisis. It's heavily colored by what sign it's in, by what house it's in. Nothing happened. Why? Because he was work. Karen, you know anybody like this? Work. So I knew that even though this guy's a nice guy, he was dead to his own individuality. Dead to it. That channel between Uranus, see, comes through the self and up through to the brain, and you have all these planets. So I knew that I was brought to him temporarily to awaken his Uranus. And I could tell you things that have happened since are unbelievable, but that's what happened. I awoke him. And I said, you can't feel guilty about this. What this is a past life where you have this drilled into you that you got to work, you got to produce, and all this myth of Virgo. So I had a long talk with him, and I said, what happened when you were 42? Nothing. Did you go fishing? No. Did you get a go-kart? No. Did you go on vacation? No. So all these things, he had them suppressed because in his mind, his wife's chart the same way. And I had talked to his father a week before, and father says, how's Junior doing? And I just look at Junior's chart. I said, the guy needs to have more fun. Because ultimately, he's a Sag inside. And a Sag wants to have fun. A Sag doesn't want to be encapsulated with a lid on it of all his Virgo shoulds. So that's how I could tell. So you can't say Uranus is coming. What's going to happen to this guy? He could have used it right. He could have used it wrong. He didn't use it. That's your three options. Do you see? You got to get out of the books that say when this planet comes to you, this will happen. You can listen to the books. For example, let's say you have a child and the child's being a bit of a bum. They're not working. You see Saturn coming up on one of their planets. And you're trying all these years to get them working, be responsible for themselves, and Saturn's coming. You can't say Saturn's going to stop them in their tracks and make them go to work. You can say that is kind of, sort of, okay, you're leaning that way. Unfortunately, astrology's got a lot of kind of, sort of in there, okay? But you can say the type of thing. Saturn on the sun is going to cut off mom and dad. It's going to cut off their ways to get money. It's going to cut off things and kind of force them into working, etc., etc. Why? Not because Saturn's out there doing this, because Saturn's coming up through here. And the Saturn part of you wants to win. It wants to be incorporated inside the psyche. Okay. You draw these things to you. So that person, that kid could have devastating results, even to the point of paralysis or death. The kid most likely will just have pain in the butt type things, and they can't party anymore and they got to go to work. In my case, I was a filmmaker and I didn't like going to video in 1980 when Saturn returned, and I had to stop and start all over going to college in computers. So it stopped me, and I started over in my house of education. So I started into a new education and went on in computers for years. So in this guy's case, Uranus can't get through. So what did he do? After 7 years since his last reading, what did he do? It just so happened one night he and I started talking again, and I triggered him. And it means that there's a little bit inside him, a little bit of Uranus that's saying, I would like to be me for a while. I would like to do my thing. And it came out as my voice. And me investigating and me digging in with my ability. And him to say, yeah, doggone it, yeah. Because the Virgo says, I don't want to hear that voice. That's the voice of some irresponsible part of me. And I came through and said, no, it's not. We want to get the Sag out of you. It's a real part of you. You want all these parts in balance. So there's a real good example of how a planet comes by, and he could have missed this discussion with me, gone on another 40 years, being dead to himself. And at the end, he'd have all these accomplishments, but nothing to show for it as far as the individualities come out. You see? It's going to take time to understand. Yes, Erica, question? Passion is not Uranus, and you have to learn these things. Passion is what planet?
No, I asked that question when Susan was asking about.
Well, I'm going to ask this question anyway. What planet is passion?
Scorpio. I mean,
what planet?
Pluto.
Planet.
What planet?
Not sign, planet.
Pluto.
Thank
Pluto.
you, Suzanne. She's exactly right. Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. Go ahead, Erica.
Well, I was just going to mention to Susan that something that I've learned with conversational hypnosis can be very helpful to get your boss to like you. But the important thing is whether you like or that person likes a job, and whether it's right for them, not just getting the boss to like them. But there
is no boss. There is no boss. All there is your own projection. How's that?
Yeah, but you can project yourself in a way that makes it more comfortable for that new boss of yours.
It looks to you like there's a boss. There is no boss.
Okay.
That's how it works. If you think you can manipulate the environment and manipulate another person, that indicates automatically that you think there are two people. And there are two people. Because we know
No.
from all the books and all the quantum mechanics, there's only one of us. There's only
Yes.
one of us. So
But we all come across differently. And if you use the mode that the other person is using,
there is no
they
other
feel
person.
more comfortable with
There is
you.
no other person.
Okay, well, I'm
we
talking
look like 12 different people here, but there's one of us.
But I'm talking from the standpoint of conversational hypnosis, and you
Okay.
can help to get people to do what you want them to do through that, believe it or not.
Well, it's true at its own level, yes. It's true at its own level, and we are separate
It doesn't
beings.
hurt.
We are
It doesn't-
separate beings at that one level, yes.
I heard about one person who got the boss to like him so much that the boss won't leave him alone now and keeps asking him to go golfing and all this stuff, and now he's almost sorry.
In my experience, 95% of that is you start to like yourself, then the other person starts to like you. It's always got to do with what are you doing here? What are you doing in your own temple? In your own temple. You can't believe how many clients I have that have trouble at work. How do I say this? They go to see family during Thanksgiving, and they have trouble every Thanksgiving with their aunt and uncle. And every Thanksgiving, they got the aunt and uncle jumping on them and all this fighting. It's nasty. They don't want to go. Then they turn it around, and then this is from Wayne Dyer. The next Thanksgiving they go, they pre-program themselves. I'm going to go in. I'm going to like them. I'm going to be up front. I'm going to be positive about it. And all of a sudden, the aunt and the uncle don't feel attacked.
That's called self-hypnosis.
No, it ain't self-hypnosis. You're attacking or you're not attacking.
I know.
Of course,
But it's like talking.
you're attacking or you're not attacking. When you
But
come
it
in a
has
room, when you come in a room like this, you're automatically attacking.
Oh, of
Because you
course.
put this face on that says you might attack me.
Right.
It shows
So
that
you have to deal with your subconscious mind to talk you out of those old ruts that you were in.
we're
Get
saying,
out of your own way, like you said. I'm going to like that.
we're saying the same thing.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's important not to feed on others and not to manipulate others and not to steal from others. And that includes extortion.
Exactly. That's what we're always doing, is stealing each other's energy. Right.
Yeah.
But in reality, we're doing it all to ourselves anyway. Let me move on. There's so much to see. I'm going to show you an unbelievable video. It's about 4 minutes long. We're going to switch over to YouTube. I'm going to show you a young girl video. It's from like one of these Sunday morning TV shows. I can't remember. It's about 4 minutes. And then we're going to take a look at her chart, which has no birth time. But I want to show you an example of what a human being's like matched to their chart. The young lady's name is Jennifer Bricker. She's been featured many times on Facebook, so enjoy. Hold on. Let me find it. Okay. Let me find it.
Can't is not part of your vocabulary. You just put your mind to it, you can do it.
And you believe that?
Yeah. That's the crazy thing is if you're never given limits, then you think I can do anything.
And if she could do anything, she wanted it to be this. What she saw her hero, Dominique Monciano, doing on TV, there was just one problem. Jennifer was born without legs. Devastating birth defect that had led her natural parents to abandon her the day she was born.
It bothered me to think that there was a little girl that was left at the hospital and she had no legs, so I thought she needed a family that would love her and take care of her.
Sharon and her husband Gerald brought her home to the tiny town of Hardinville, Illinois. Population 50, they say, if you count the dogs and cats. They decided to raise her like they raised their 3 healthy sons, with no limitations and just one simple rule. Never say the word
Cat.
You said, I want to be a tumbler. You didn't have legs.
Right. Kind of need those, most people think, to tumble.
Well, think again. The girl who wasn't allowed to say can't was on her way to becoming a genuine gymnastics champion. She started at 7 on the trampoline with her dad. Oh. And after a few falls, she got the hang of it. Oh. In time, she was competing. Soon after that, she was dominating. And by high school, Jennifer Bricker, are you ready for this, was the tumbling champion of the state of Illinois. Soon, Jennifer was pursuing other sports too. Even one you'd figure she had absolutely no chance to play well, till it turned out she could steal the ball, even grab a few rebounds.
And she could make baskets too.
She didn't consider herself handicapped. She was talking to some friends one time, and one of them said something about her being handicapped. She said, well, I'm not handicapped. I said, well, you have to use a wheelchair. She said, just to keep them getting dirty.
One day at age 16, out of curiosity, Jennifer asked her mother a question.
Hey, is there anything that you, know about my adoption or biological family that you didn't tell me?
I said, okay, but you got to sit down. And she said, Mom, I'm always sitting. And she said, maybe you should sit down. I said, okay, let me sit down. And she said, well, what's the big deal? Just tell me what my last name is. And I said, well, that's the big deal. And she said, what do you mean? I said, your last name would have been Mocianu.
I knew what that meant. I knew that Dominique Mocianu was my biological sister.
When she finally tracked Dominique down, Jennifer wrote her a letter. Inside the envelope were adoption papers, a photograph, and a stunning piece of news.
My biological last name is Mocianu. That line, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Everything was there. The evidence was there. Jennifer looked like the spitting image of my youngest sister, Christina. What a moment for anyone to even speak to their childhood idol, but for their childhood idol to be their sister. That's something. She told me she was an athlete in the letter. In fact, I was her inspiration to start tumbling and doing gymnastics. And then on the phone call, she goes, oh, by the way, I have no legs. And she's like, wait a minute, didn't you just tell me that you're an acrobat and you did all these sports? And I just hear the wheels turning, And I said, who is this girl? Oh my God, how did she have this attitude to persevere in life and overcome every obstacle? And she's my sister.
Jennifer has moved out to Hollywood. Where else if you want to be a star? She drives a specially equipped car and lives a normal, independent life. And she's earning a living. How else? As a gymnast. She's an acrobat who has toured with Britney Spears. And now she's training for a classical performance at New York's Lincoln Center.
We got to go to Ohio and got to watch her perform. The audience just went crazy. They stood up, they were whistling and screaming and clapping and all this, and I was blubbering. I was sobbing because it was so beautiful. And it's like, oh my goodness, that's my baby.
The baby who was taught early on never to say the word can't.
Wow. So when you look at her, you see the great beauty of Libra. It showed here on the paper October 1st, 1978. 87. You see the beautiful Libra smile and presence. But you see the Aries, the fresh look of Aries, the real innocent, out front look that you see with Danica Patrick. I knew when I saw Danica Patrick, she had to have tons of Aries, and I did her chart, she had 5 planets in Aries. So when you go to this woman's chart, beside all the wonderful coincidence of meeting her sister, here's her chart without a birth time. And let's see if we get it up here. Let's try again. So she's October 1st, 87. I'm not certain I put down Hollywood, but it doesn't matter. Her name is Jennifer Bricker. And you put the sun, you use a noon birth for unknowns. There's the Libra. The moon could be in Capricorn. It could also be in Aquarius. But what's so powerful, this is not a planet. This is Eris. This is the North Node. Erase all those. You have Jupiter and Aries all by itself. All these planets are in a bucket. There's Jupiter and Aries. Jupiter and Aries is daring. I'm going. Let's go. There's no such thing as can't. I'm diving in. Let's go. It's not coming from her Libra. It's got to come from her planets. Now, many, many people that are born the same day as her don't have the gumption she has. So many things get involved beside astrology. But you can see the bucket pattern here is all swinging from the Jupiter and Aries. Here's the Chiron in Gemini, giving you the ability to have great skill from Chiron in a variety of ways. And that makes a T-square. Look at that Chiron opposite Uranus, all making a T-square to Mars. So that Mars gives her the Aries look. Mars being ruler of Aries. So that's the go and the skill. The go, do it, and the skill. Here's an incredibly intense mind. Concentration. I can do anything. Mercury, Pluto, and Scorpio. So I just wanted to show you how you could see a person blow you away, and the chart has to match. It has to match. And after years of studying, it's always going to match in a way that you have no idea. It always surprises you. But you can see a phenomenal chart being expressed through this woman. And in her case, Susan, in her case, she's in touch with most of her energies, and they're expressed, and they're balanced. Another person could have that chart and could tear themselves apart with self-criticism, being reckless, and you would look at the darker shadow sides of the energy. Okay, moving on. We've got a lot to do tonight. Recently, just yesterday, okay, I'm sure you're all having a wonderful time with Mercury retrograde. And when you consider the shadow period, Mercury retrogrades every 90 days for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Every 90 days, it goes back for 30. Let's see. Every 90 days goes backward for 21. 90 days, 21. 90 days, 21. Because it's closer to the sun than us. But there's a shadow period that elongates that. So in effect, Mercury is retrograde in your chart for all of us half of the year. Half of your life is spent when Mercury is retrograde. How does that explain things? Yesterday, we're entering the third part. Mercury has been retrograde for about 14 days. We got the last 7 days left, about 6 days. It's going to go direct next Wednesday. So we got 6 more days. And I'll tell you from experience, the last week is always the worst part. Around 7 days to go, 6 days to go, 5 days to go, 4 days to go. You'll see just unbelievable. How many of you guys have stuff pending? You're waiting for a call. They got the wrong phone number. They sent the package to the wrong place. It just happens everywhere. You put your life on hold in a way. But what I've noticed that's really phenomenal, you should take heart at this. When you get to about 3 or 4 days left, there it is. I got feedback coming from somebody. When it's about 3 or 4 days, it's about to stop and go forward again. Watch yourself the next few days. Everything's going to start going forward. Everything. All your plans are going to start clicking. The car is going to work. The radio is going to work. The money's going to work. It's almost to the point you're going to say no, because it's like it's been held back like a dam for so long, for 2.5 weeks, and then it goes forward. So over the next 2-3 days, you watch and see everything's going to start flooding forward, and mostly in a really good way. Does it make sense to you? You guys experiencing this? Susan A says, yeah. Okay. So that's good. Now, what was peculiar is yesterday, Uranus and Mercury Retrograde were together. I'll show you. Okay, there we go. You see how close? See how close Uranus 25, 14, 25, 32? They were exactly together yesterday. So that's one of the reasons things are nuts, crazy, goofy. But what part of tonight is about this recent Uranus-Eris conjunction. Okay? Uranus has now come along. Uranus has passed by. Uranus spends 7 years in a sign. Eris spends 120 years in a sign. 120 years, and Uranus 7 years. So, I was talking with Elke, trying to figure out what was going on with Dennis, her husband, about 5 days ago. And I was telling her a lot of it had to do with Eris. And she said, now remember, Eris was not discovered till 2003 and was not given the name till 2005. So we're talking 12 years now. This thing's been out there billions of years. When you discover it, it means that your consciousness is ready to deal with this energy. The same happened with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Eris. The fact that Eris was discovered, we've been talking about it. It was sitting there. It was dormant. It was stirring the collective mind. Remember, Eris is the rise of the feminine, discord, dissent, revolution. Her story in mythology is she was left out and uninvited from a party. And so she threw an apple into the party, and somehow she asked, I can't remember exactly, who's the fairest of you all, and got all the women fighting each other. So she's known as the planet of discord. There's a lot more to her. So, Eris has been sitting there, stirring up. Look at the world. Look at the world since 2003. Look at how much has been stirring. And then on March 30th, which I kept barking about in all my writings, on March 30th, Uranus came along and conjuncted that spot. So here's Eris sitting there, 540 years to go around the circle. 540 years. So Eris is largely just sitting. My whole life has been in Aries. 120 years in Aries. It's just sitting there. That's symbolic that it's in the subconscious, in the collective. Then quick moving, instigating Uranus, because Uranus's nature is what? To cause shock, to cause revolution, to electrify. Uranus came along on March 30th and hit it, conjunct it. And boom, that's when all this stuff started about the Russian investigation. So it's happening in Trump's chart, in the United States chart, in your chart, in my chart, everywhere around 24, 25 of Aries. So where you have got 25 of Aries, that's what's creating a stir. Now, let's follow through. Remember, I'm admitting I don't know much about it, Eris. It's going to take me a while. It's taken me a good while to get to speed with Chiron in the last 7 years. There's got to be a really good side to Eris. I'm reading a lot of negative stuff about it, and I don't believe it. I just believe that planets essentially, archetypally, have a very positive impact. And I do think that she is the seed, the central force behind the feminine, divine feminine rise. Thank Goddess. By the way, did you know that the Dalai Lama said that the world was going to be saved because of the Western woman? Yeah. And here I are, the only male here except for Mark, who's not visible. And whoever Jim is, okay. So, she appears to have a lot to do, Western women. The Western females, thank God. But another thing's involved. Astrology is complicated. You got Eris in Aries, you got Uranus, you got Uranus in Aries. You got 4 things. Then you got the peculiarities and the idiosyncrasies. What could possibly mean Uranus combining with Eris? Because when 2 planets combine, they come up with a idiosyncratic third self. Well, it sure is revolutionary. But what I want to say to you is this. Are you noticing, and I've been noticing the last few weeks, few days, a lot of people are near the edge. You see it? I'm talking about a lot of people are near the edge. Here's why I think. First of all, Eris is a collective planet. When they're that far out, the collective changes. It's what's causing the Arab Spring, but only the American Spring. But it's also working at an individual level. That's where I'm weak. I don't know enough yet. I don't know enough about what it means in the natal charts because I haven't studied it. I've just started putting it on the circle a couple months ago. Well, what it's doing is there is this explosion of Aries energy now. And I was talking earlier about Deborah, and Deborah was citing that a lot of this Trump follower energy is because of giving them the okay to release their anger or their negative side. Well, that's certainly true to a point, and we don't know how big. But what's happening is the Aries energy in you is the energy that's me, and I've got to do my thing and get out of my way. Now, typical Aries energy is get out of my way, but I don't mean you any harm. Get out of my way because I got to get from here to there. But you're seeing a lot of the ugly part too. Get out of my way, no matter what, because I want what I want. So what's happening in each one of you and everybody around us, we're having this Aries explosion inside of ourselves. And if you're a Pisces, you don't like it because you're built the opposite. If you're an Aries, you don't even notice it because it's one with your energy. If you're a Taurus, Tauruses are having a very hard time because the Aries energy wants to move. Taurus doesn't want movement. Cancer energy, movement equals threat. If I start moving, what's going to happen? So the signs that don't like movement, Cancer, Taurus, Capricorn. Cancer, Taurus, Capricorn. They're having a hard time with this because the Aries inside of you is exploding. It wants out. I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing, effortlessly sitting in my 9th house. My 9th house is on fire because it's all these Libra planets getting hit by Eris and Uranus, and that's why these on the online shows are happening. It's why I'm teaching again online. So in your own chart, that area where 25 Aries is in the opposite point of 25 Libra is on fire. And the trick is, there's several tricks. You can't look at this energy as being greedy or selfish. It wants out. Can you relate? And Aries energy is not particularly friendly or tactful. The Libras are having a hard time with it because the Libra's trying to do it also tactfully. And the Aries energy is not tactful. It's more important that you err on the side of getting the energy out as opposed to offending somebody, hurting somebody's feelings, etc. Because the more you get it out, you'll smooth out. It'll start coming out easier, fluid, more tactfully. But it's got to come out. So how many, when you all just raised your hand, think of the people having trouble, and they're all having trouble allowing themselves to be. They got rules against it. Oh, no, I'm a good Catholic. Oh, I'm a good Christian. I'm a good whatever. Do you see it? And yeah, go ahead, Erica. You're now unmuted. What do you see?
Well, a friend who's a Cancerian, his kids were born in the house they're living in. They've lived there for 10 years. And he's got a son who's like a triple Cancer, super much of a hermit. And they've just been told that they have to move out of their house. And it's very hard to find anything.
And what happened to me and Liza, our landlord just came in out from underneath us and sold the house. And right 2 doors away, it opened up a house for sale. But the point is, we're going with it. You see, Susan and everybody else listening, you don't have to be an expert at these energies. You don't have to be an expert ballet star. You just have to have the willingness. These planets will help you if you're willing. And I'm sure Karen can agree with me because Karen's been studying with me a long time. It's like being willing to listen to your own energy. 95% of astrology is this. It's your inner self or the little girl or little boy inside sending a suggestion up to the committee up here. Can I go out and play? Can I go have ice cream? Can I go downtown? No, shut up. Get back down. 95% of astrology is that. It's the inner self setting up a suggestion is really pure and innocent. And you form the committee up here. You decide how many bad guys and girls on that committee or lenient people. You decide what they're going to say. And they're largely shaped by past life and by the nature of your parents. So anyhow, does it help you to understand now that you're all probably suffering a little bit with impatience right now? Because you just don't want to hear it. You want to go. You want Erica out. You want Karen out. You want Yvonne out. They want out. They want expressed. And what does that mean? It means exactly what tame old Fred Rogers said. There's nobody like you. There's no one like you. That's not a radical statement. That's what I mean. You want out. And the more you're willing, the more things will happen to take your obstacles away. Avenues will come your way. Red carpets will be put in front of you. Guaranteed. That's how it works. Next subject, because I'm getting into a lot of things tonight. I want to tell you a story. It's not astrology, but I think you'll find it's really interesting. I think I started to record. Yeah, I did. Good. Okay. About 1968, I was in college, 69, and I read an article in Time magazine about the left and right side of the mouth from a study. And I haven't stopped studying this since. Maybe you know about this. Maybe you saw it in Psychology Today. But it's really, really true, and almost 100%, maybe 90%. And the theory is this. When you're young, or when you're rather innocent, your eyes are pretty much even. The mouth curls up about the same on each side. When you look at people like politicians, who, let's say, have trouble with the truth sometimes, this side of the mouth I want to get confused here. This side of the mouth is the real self because it's controlled by the right brain, which is how you feel. This side of the mouth is controlled by the thoughts. Oh, I'd better smile now. You'll constantly see politicians where one side's up, dramatically. You will notice some people don't agree. Some people are very even. Usually the even ones are the Aries, Taurus, Gemini. They're the innocent early signs of the zodiac. What they say, they express it. But the ones who think and they want to put up a front, not always, have the real strong curvature. And you'll see this is really slick when you watch it for a while. You'll see a politician start to smile. The real self starts to smile. The other half realizes it's okay. Then they allow the other part to come in. One half will go up. The brain will kick in and say it's okay. You've been doing it so long. And the real kicker, take a still photograph of somebody and put a mirror here. And get two lefts or get two rights, and you'll see two different people. It's unbelievable. It really, really is. I've been following it a long time. Some people are the opposite. I don't know why. Some people are straight across, and they're great deceivers. I don't know why. I don't have the answer to everything, but it's unbelievable to watch it. That once again, this side is the real self. When you want to know where somebody's coming from, close your right eye and look at their left eye. Close your right eye and look at the left side of their face. You'll see a completely different self on one half than you do the other. One is what they project onto the world. One is more of a match as to who they really are. And when you see somebody where they're really distorted, you usually have a lot of trouble. There could be dropsy or whatever. There could be Bell's palsy. There can be all kind of things. And maybe Bell's palsy follows the same suit. I don't know. But start looking and watching, and you'll see ones that don't match. But keep watching, and you're really you ought to watch our ex-vice president Biden. Man, he's got total control of one side and the other side. He can make them both go up. He can make one go up by itself. It's just unbelievable control of both. Because you're in front of the camera all the time, and you have to manipulate how you look. Make sense? So people say, why are you staring at me? I'm looking at your lips, sir. Okay, I told you we had a lot of stuff to do today. Any questions? I am going to put my next subject on the back burner, put it for next week because it's too long. The next week's subject will be cycles, and I want you to look for that on my website. I've got videos on it. Saturn returns, Uranus square Uranus, Neptune square Neptune, Pluto returns, etc., etc. I have a nice video on that on my website. On the website, but it's also on YouTube. It is not listed as one of the 32 unplugs. Just go down through them and you can see the study of cycles, especially Jupiter returns, Uranus square Uranus, Uranus opposite Uranus, and I'll walk you through each one, why they are the way they are. And this will really hit Susan very closely because I know you like to look at formulas and see how they work. Some formulas are generically pretty darn true for everybody. Now, how they respond to it's up to them. Okay. Before,
yeah.
yeah.
I have Mercury opposite Taurus.
You cannot have Mercury opposite Taurus.
I mean, Mercury is in my 8th house.
Mercury is in your 8th house.
And the moon is in Taurus now, which is opposite.
And the moon is only 28 hours.
Okay. Well, for some reason, in the last couple of weeks, I've been experiencing a lot of feeling stuck physically. And it's almost like I'm in quicksand or feeling paralysis.
I'll tell you precisely why that's happening. Do you think there's a planet up there that says, I don't want Marilyn to move, so I'm going to go put cement on her shoes?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in concrete underwear.
Now, what I asked you, I said, do you think there's a planet up there that says, I'm going to go lay down with cement blocks on her legs?
The only thing I know is it feels like Taurus energies.
I'm asking you, do you feel there is a conscious entity somewhere deciding to stop you?
No, it's my interpretation.
Do you feel that there's some energy outside of you that's stopping you, or is it you that's causing it?
Well, there is cosmic energy that's always out there that's coming in to the planetary system.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is. We just had a meteor come by. And
It's
there's
all
tiny
in the mind. There's one energy. The reason you're stuck is because of what I just talked about. There's such an Aries explosion in your chart that wants to go. It wants to go, that it will scare the hell out of your subconscious mind because it's serious and it wants out, and you're having to use extra, triple, quadruple force to keep it shut up again. That's why you feel stuck, because you're putting so much energy to keep it contained.
Well, it's having an effect on my bones.
Well, of course it will. All these planets cause all these physical stuff. What's in it? All the healers deal with one thing: blockages. What do you think of blockages? Is something coming out? Nope. Coming out? Nope.
Well, it's an aspect of me that is creating a lens that I'm looking through.
Let's follow suit, Marilyn. And if anybody else would like to get on the list of who I do the expose on, Robert, my friend, is on next week. But if you want to get on the list, Marilyn, we'll put you on here and we can talk about this. But what's happening, listen to me, is the Aries part is extra insistent now. That's the part you can't control. You're talking about energy out there. You can't control Uranus. Sometimes Uranus is quiet. Sometimes it's really loud, and you cannot control it.
Well, love
cannot control this Aries energy. But what you can do is allow it out. But I'll bet you anything, there's something in you, in your 25th degree of Aries. There's something exploding in you that you usually have control of that wants out now. And this feeling stuck is you are feeling stuck because you're holding on. Stuck is equal to holding on.
Well, I know the love that I am cannot be contained. It wants to express itself.
What?
The love that I am cannot be contained.
Of course, that's right. Exactly right. That's the same statement. The wanting out is the love in you. That's right. Exactly right. I'm having trouble with my mouse, as you can see.
I had a tooth removed that was abscessed, and it had to come out, and it was my eye tooth on the right side of my face. And boy, did that affect my smile. That's very symbolic. Now hold on. We're going to do one thing at a time, but I promise I'm doing Shirley at 9 o'clock. Okay, Marilyn. Let's take a look at Marilyn's chart. Let's see if you all got it now. All right. Now, for the sake of
for the sake of this show, I'm going to end the recording here. Thank you, YouTube people. We're going to get personal now. Okay, so the recording is stopped.